Commission meeting. This meeting is being recorded, televised, and viewable on SwiftL Channel 19, ITC Channel 168, or the Brookings County YouTube channel. I now call this meeting to order. Approval of the minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Diedrich. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Items to be added to the agenda by commission members or staff. Anybody have anything?
Just doing our director's report.
Invitation for citizens to schedule a time on the commission agenda Seeing none. Disclosure of conflicts of interest. Relationships to the applicant or ex parte communication. Approval of agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
We will now convene as the Brookings County Planning and Zoning Commission. I now call this meeting to order and would like to welcome those in attendance at tonight's meeting. The Brookings County Planning Commission is a 9-member commission whose function is to recommend approval or disapproval of the land use plans, zoning ordinances, subdivision plats, and amendments thereof of the Brookings County Commission. The commission makes its recommendation based on the adopted comprehensive plan for the physical development of the unincorporated areas of Brookings County. As a matter of policy, all motions are to be made in the positive. After a motion is moved and seconded, it is open for debate. Those supporting the motion shall in turn give their reasons. Those opposing the motion shall then offer their reasons. After everyone has been given a chance to be heard, the commission shall recommend approval or disapproval based on the testimony of the information presented. A simple majority of a quorum of members of the Planning and Zoning Board in attendance is required to forward the recommendation. Excuse me, I went too fast. I need a motion on the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall, second by Diedrich. Vote again. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You should have hit me. Agenda item 2021, Plat 018, plat of Block 1 of Wells Edition in the southwest 109 North, Range 49W of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Diedrich,
Second.
second by Gatsky. Richard, would you read staff report?
Yes, 2021, Plat 018, Robert and Anita Wells are platting off a 16.48 acre existing building site from the 160 acres that they own. The existing building site consists of a manufactured home, grain bins, a barn, and some smaller outbuildings. The property is in the floodplain, and the manufactured home has been built to the floodplain ordinance requirements. And it does meet the plating requirements of the 2016 Comprehensive Plan for the unincorporated areas of Brookings County. This is the plat. A little irregular shaped around there, square but irregular. On 216th or 44th Street South. Here's the beacon map with the outline of the proposed plat on there. Just the red area with showing it is in the floodplain. There's just the area without. And that's all that I have. And the applicant is not here this evening.
Okay. If the applicant's not here, I will now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that is for this? Hearing none, is there anybody in the audience that is opposed to this? Hearing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, Richard, would you call the vote?
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Troyan, Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Dietrich,
Aye.
Starhog,
Aye.
Gatsky,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Bartley,
Aye.
and Ford. Motion passes.
We will now convene as the Brookings County Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment is a 9-member board which has the power to hear requests for variances, conditional uses, appeals from non-ministerial decisions of zoning officer. The current of the full board membership of the board, 6 votes is necessary for approval of a variance or an appeal to the zoning officer. The concurring vote of a simple majority of those board members present and voting is necessary for approval of a conditional use permit. In accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, we require a motion to approve a request before the request can be debated. As a matter of policy, all motions are to be made in the positive. The board, under specific powers granted to it by the state, shall authorize variances from zoning requirements where special conditions existing on the land will result in an unnecessary hardship for the applicant. Financial disadvantage to the property owner shall not constitute proof of an unnecessary hardship. Agenda item 2021 CU 025, Rock On LLC by Robert Winter has made an application 2021 CU 025 to the Brookings County Board of Adjustment for a conditional use for a gravel mining operation, Article 11, Section 11.01A, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Number 4, sand, gravel, and or quarry operation, mineral exploration, and extraction. The property is described as the southeast 1/4, excluding H-3 and H-4 of Section 18, Township 109 North, Range 49W, Trenton Township, located at 21675 473rd Avenue, Brookings, South Dakota 57006. Is there a motion? Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Gatsky. Richard, would you read the staff report?
That is incorrect. It's 2021.
Okay, thank you for that correction. 2021 CU 025, Rock On LLC by Robert Winter has applied for Brookings County zoning ordinance, Article 11, Agricultural District, Section 11.01A, Agricultural Districts. Conditional use number 4, which is sand, gravel, quarry explorations, mineral exploration and extraction, to continue the mining operation, with all operations and the reclamation to be planned to stay the same. The property is located in the southeast 1/4 of Section 18 in Trenton Township. That borders I-29 on the west, South Dakota Highway 324 in the south, and Brookings County Highway 21 or 473rd Avenue on the east. And the property is in the floodplain. The original mining and crushing permits for this facility were issued to Butch Osby on June 7th in 2005. Robert Winter took over the mining operation since 2015 with conditional use 2015 CU 001. Ryan Winter took over the mining operation in 2017 with conditional use 2017 001 and conditional use 2020 CU 024 with the condition that the berms need to be finished and weed control. And that expired here in December. The berms have been completed along Brookings County Highway 21 on the east side and South Dakota Highway 324 in the south, east of the driveway, and they are seeded down. The property was inspected by the Brookings County Weed and Pest Department for weeds in June, July, and August of 2021, noting that good weed control was observed. The attached site map shows the future mining area, and the hours of the operation will remain the same, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. We would like to continue the mining operation on a permanent basis and follow the original reclamation site plan with the original homestead and 4 additional 35-acre lots on the property for a total of 5 lots. Entrance and exit to the property are located off South Dakota Highway 324. The applicant has applied for conditional use 2021 CU 026 for crushing of the mined product that is mined on site, and that will be heard tonight also after this one. Letters were sent to the adjoining landowners, the Trenton Township Chairman and Clerk, the Brookings County Highway Department, and the South Dakota Department of Transportation. And public notices were published in the Brookings Register on November 22nd and 29th, 2021.
Thank you, Richard. Is the applicant here?
Nope, I'm not quite done yet. Hit the wrong button here. Here's their conditional use permit. This is their future site plan or map of the area. This is the area that has been excavated already. The aquifer materials map, which shows it in Zone B, the yellow area. The red area is in the floodplain there. This is their reclamation plan, lake, kind of in the middle, north third of it. This is an existing home here, road around the outside edge of the property, and the 4 additional 8 homes along the outside edge. This is looking west of the driveway along South Dakota 324. They've started the berm construction there, not quite completed at the time these photos were taken. Just looking north towards the driveway, the same area shows a berm right back in that area being constructed. This is looking east of the driveway. Berm is constructed. It was seeded down at that time. And this is another picture of the berm west of the driveway. You can see they're in the process of getting that completed. This is at the intersection of South Dakota 324 and Brookings County 21, or 473rd Avenue. Just show the berm is complete on the southeast corner going back towards the driveway there. This is looking north on Brookings County 21. Berm is completed up to match up with the other one there. And this is just the existing berm on the northeast corner looking towards the west that has been seeded down and trees are planted on it. And it's just looking back towards the southwest from that northeast corner. This is the west side of the property along the on-ramp for Interstate I-29 and intersection of 324. And show they're in the process of getting that in the construction stage there. Same way looking farther down on existing berm on the west side of the property down 2/3 of the way once the road straightens out there. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Richard. Is the applicant here? Step forward, sit down, clearly state your name into the mic, please.
Nick Winter.
You have anything to add to Richard's report? Any members of the board have any other questions for Mr. Winter at the moment? Seeing and we'll move on to the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that is for this? Seeing and hearing none, is there anybody in the audience that is opposed to this? Seeing and hearing none, I will close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? This is the one we did the 1 year on last year.
That is correct.
And
What's the application and terms for years on this one? Or is that something we want to talk about after we use the
We
read
can
the
go
finding?
through that on the findings. We left that be.
Okay.
That part I did not fill in, and they did not mark if they wanted it a permanent conditional use or not. You can discuss that during the findings.
okay. So if we can discuss that during the findings, move on to the findings. Richard, would you read the findings?
Yes, we'll read the first one, and the second time we'll just read the highlighted areas on there. These are based on the finals from last year and with noted updates for the name and the legal descriptions and stuff on there. But Brookings County zoning conditional use permit, 2021 CU-025, an application for a conditional use permit having been filed with the Brookings County Zoning Commission, acting as a Board of Adjustment, a copy of the application being attached hereto. Such application being made by Rock On LLC by Robert Winter regarding the following real property as follows. The southeast 1/4, except H3 and H4 of Section 18, Township 109 North, Range 49 West, Trenton Township, located at 47280 South Dakota Highway 324, Brookings, South Dakota. After due notice, a public hearing having been held on the application on the 6th day of December 2021. Number 1, the Brookings County Zoning Commission hereby finding that it is empowered to grant such conditional use under the following sections of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. Article 11, Section 11.01, A, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Permit Number 4, gravel mining, and further finding the granting of the conditional use will not adversely affect the public interest. Number 2, the Brookings County Zoning Commissioner further finds and certifies that the following specific rules governing the conditional use requested have been complied with. None stated. Number 3, the Brookings County Zoning Commission further finds that satisfactory provisions and arrangements have been made concerning the following where applicable. A, entrance and exit to the property and proposed structures therein, with a particular reference to automotive and pedestrian safety, convenience, traffic flow, control, and access in case of fire or catastrophe. Truck entrance and exit will be off South Dakota Highway 324 only. No truck entrance or exit will be off South Brookings County 21. 173rd Avenue. B, off-street parking and loading areas where required with particular attention to items A above and economic, noise, glare, or other effects of the special exception on adjoining properties or properties generally in the district. No on-street parking, no parking of equipment or storage of fuel or oil in the mining area. Separate parking lot and storage area for fuel, oil, and equipment with containment, to be 300 foot away from the mined or actively mined areas. C, utilities, refuge, and service areas with reference to locations, availability, and compatibility. Dumpster service for garbage disposal. D, screening and bufferings with reference to type, dimensions, and character. Maintain outside perimeter berms as per site plan with a 4-to-1 slope, top of the berm being 10 feet in width, and trees planted on top of the berm, working with the Brookings County Conservation District. Completion of the berms on the southwest and west sides of the property as soon as construction allows in 2022. E, signs, if any. Proposed exterior lighting with reference to glare, traffic safety, economic effect, and compatibility and harmony with properties in the district. 32 square foot sign allowed and any required safety signs. Required yards and other open spaces. Spraying of all noxious and other weeds before they go to seed. Monitor weed growth and weed control by spraying, mowing, or tilling by permit holder or designated professional sprayer service. Weed control pursuant to South Dakota Codified Law 38-22. Inspected 2 times a year for weed growth and control by the Brookings County Weed Supervisor. G, general compatibility with adjacent properties and other properties in the district. Comprehensive plan met for the agricultural district. H, roads providing access to the property are adequate to meet the transportation demands of the proposed conditional use. The Board of Adjustment may require that the applicant to enter in a written contract with any affected township or other governmental unit regarding the upgrading and continued maintenance of any roads or for the conditional use requested prior to the issuance of the conditional use. Driveway permit from the Brookings County Highway Department for widening of an existing driveway on Brookings County 21, 473rd with the approved culvert extension. Road agreements are not required as the entrance and exit will be off South Dakota Highway 324. I, any requirements, notification of law enforcement or the fire department. Notification of Brookings County 911 and Brookings County Emergency Management of any hazardous material or chemical spills. J, any safety inspections required. Any required safety inspections for state permits. Number 4, the Brookings County Zoning Commission further determines and conditions this conditional use permit upon the following additional special conditions or safeguards. A, follow Brookings County Ordinance, Chapter 4.06, Aquifer Protection Performance Standards, and Section 4.0606. B, fuel storage with containment to be 300 foot away from any mined or actively mined areas. C, septic system must be approved by the South Dakota Department of Environment, of Agriculture. And Natural Resources. For being located in the floodplain and the Zone B of the Aquifer Materials Map. D, dust control such as magnesium chloride or like products in the driveway, entrance, exit, loading areas as required. E, dust control when processing, crushing, and screening gravel. F, dusk to dawn light at the scale house. Hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. H, entrance gate padlocked. I, lake size no more than 50 acres. K, clean fill may be hauled in for fill material only. No other type of fill material may be hauled in for disposal. L, landscape aggregate may be hauled back to the site for sale as needed on an as-needed basis. Is that something that you guys are doing? Bringing back landscape rock or bigger rocks for any of that? Do you want that
Usually
in
just
here?
clay coming back in.
Just the clay? Okay. This would pertain to if you brought the smaller rocks for landscaping people, if they want to buy, sell that. You don't do that?
We sell it, but we make it there on site. with
Okay.
our Crushing.
You don't haul any
washing,
back
all
in or
that.
nothing? Okay.
We don't bring anything back into there, no.
That we can probably take out. Just how it was in there initially, that I think they hauled it back from Sioux Falls at that time to
That was back
runs.
yeah, when Osby was involved. Yeah.
So that we can take out if you so desire. Now L becomes South Dakota Department of Agricultural Natural Resources mining permit required and a copy on file of the Brookings County Development Office. M, Reclamation Plan, 4 new 35-acre residential building lots and the original building site for 5 residential lots total in compliance with county zoning regulations. Subdividing shall be part of the Reclamation Plan in progress. Okay, this is N on a time period. I'll let you, conditional use is valid for whatever term that you want to, you would like to make it permanent, or if you want to make it 5 years or 3
How long
years.
do you think till you'd run out of material?
It's probably 10 years probably. Just a guess, but it's hard to say. Every year's different how much we use and all of that.
I'll go 15 to make sure he's done.
I don't.
What's your opinion, Mr. Diedrich?
Just, and this isn't on you, Nick, I know, but I'm assuming it must be Bob is the one that is it Bob or Ryan that's been running the pit?
Bob just purchased it a month ago.
Oh.
The whole thing out.
He did.
So Bob is
Okay.
sole owner of it as of a month ago.
Okay, yeah, it's been,
It's been
Under-
a hassle up and down, I get it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
and all of a sudden we made it as a 1-year permit, and they decided to get the act together and get the berms almost made, and hopefully trees planted come next year that have been a part of the permit for 15 or 20 years. I don't know how long, I can't remember what the date was, and it's finally gotten done because we made them do it. And like I said, nothing against you, Nick, but
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We just finally got it purchased all to ourselves, so it's
Yeah.
ours only. And we're the ones that have been working on the berms and
sure.
getting stuff cleaned up. But
Yeah. So that, yeah, I don't know if that needs to, if it's under new ownership now, I don't know.
I understand not doing the permanent deal with the last 10 years on it. I get it.
Yep. Yeah.
It makes sense.
And so
but
maybe that's not a concern then. I don't know. Yeah.
We do 5 and then
I
see where
am
it's at in 5 years.
completely happy with 5. Absolutely.
Does that work?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's typing not incorrectly, that the reclamation plan, the 4 new 35-acre residential lots, I actually like the idea of doing that around these lakes when you get done. I think it'll be a nice addition to the county in that respect, so I probably won't live to see it, but I think if it's included in this plan, we know what you're gonna do. It obviously would have to be permitted, but I like the idea.
All right, conditional use valid for 5 years, expires December 6, 2026, or when mineral resource gravel has been depleted. The Brookings County Zoning Commission, by at least 2/3 vote of its full membership, well, how did we get this on here? Okay, Brookings County Zoning Commission, by at least a majority vote if its members present, hereby grants the above petitioner a conditional use for the above described property as follows. Conditional use number 4, mine gravel. This conditional use is specifically conditioned upon initial and continued compliance with all the requirements and conditions in 3 and 4 above, and upon compliance with all applicable provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. If approved, the Brookings County Zoning Director is authorized to issue any required building permits for construction consistent with the requirements of this conditional use. If this conditional use is not used within 3 years of the date granted, it shall be invalid, dated the 6th day of December, 2021.
Anything else to add to the findings of facts?
I concur with the findings of the facts.
Thank you,
Chair.
Mr. Diedrich. Richard, would you call the vote?
Bartley,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Troyan,
Aye.
Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Dietrich,
Aye.
Storhog,
Aye.
Gatsky,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
and Ford.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Moving on to agenda item 2021 CU 026. Excuse me. Rock On LLC by Robert Winter has made an application 2021 CU 026 to the Brookings County Board of Adjustment for conditional use. A. Rock Crushers, Article 11, Section 11.01A, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Number 5A, Rock Crushers. This property is described as the southeast 1/4, excluding H-3 and H-4 of Section 18, Township 109 North, Range 49W, Trenton Township, located at 21675 473rd Avenue, Brookings, South Dakota, 57006. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall, second by Troyan. Richard, would you read the staff report?
Yes, 2021 CU 026. Robert Winter, Rock On LLC by Robert Winter has applied for the Brookings County zoning ordinance, Article 11, Agricultural District, Section 11.01, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Number 5A, rock crushers to process mine gravel on site with all operations in the reclamation plan staying the same. And he also just approved the mining permit that you just heard this evening. The property is located in the southeast 1/4 of Section 18, Trenton Township. It borders I-29 on the west, South Dakota Highway 324 in the south, and Brookings County Highway 473rd Avenue on the east. And the property is in the floodplain. We'd like to continue the crushing operation on a permanent basis to process the gravel and the mine on site. The hours of operation would remain the same, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Letters were sent to the adjoining landowners, the Trenton Township Chairman and Clerk, the Brookings County Highway Department, and the South Dakota Department of Transportation. And public notices were published in the Brookings Register on November 22nd and 29th, 2021. Is there a conditional use application? Is there a site plan, site map again? Site map showing the future mining areas here with the crushing area in this area. Showing the aquifer materials map in the Zone B, the yellow area. Red is the floodplain area. And then just the beacon map with the aerial of the area. It shows the same pictures looking towards the west of the driveway with the berm construction. Crushing area back in here looking north from the driveway. Area east of the driveway with the berm is completed. West of the driveway, the berm is in construction phase. This is the berm looking towards from Brookings County 21, 473rd Avenue, looking back towards the west. This is looking towards the north along Brookings County 21. Just showing the completed berm at the northeast corner of the quarters, looking towards the west, and looking back towards the southwest from that same location, the completed berm along there. This is the berm construction on the west side in the progress, and that's all that I have.
Thank you, Richard. Would the applicant step forward and clearly state your name?
Nick Winter?
Do you have anything to add to Richard's report?
No, sir.
Any other questions from members of the board? Seeing none, I'll now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that is for this? Seeing and hearing none, is there anybody in the audience that is opposed to this? Seeing and hearing none, I'll now close the public portion of the hearing. Any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Seeing and hearing none, Richard, would you read the findings of the facts?
I'll just read the highlighted areas. Brookings County zoning permit, conditional use 2021 CU 021, application for conditional use having been filed on the Brookings County Zoning Commission, acting as a board of adjustment, a copy of the application being attached here too. Such application being made by Rock On LLC by Robert Winter regarding the following real property: the southeast 1/4, except H3 and H4 of Section 18, Township 109 North, Range 49 West, Trenton Township, located at 47280 South Dakota Highway 324, Brookings, South Dakota. After due notice, a public hearing having been held on the application on the 6th day of December 2021. Number one, the Brookings County Zoning Commission hereby finding it is empowered to add such a conditional use under the following sections of the Brookings County Zoning Ordinance. Article 11, Section 11.01, A, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Permit Number 5A, Rock Crusher. And further finding that the granting of the conditional use will not adversely affect the public interest. Number two, the Brookings County Zoning Commission further finds and certifies the specific rules governing the conditional use requested to have been complied with. None stated. Number three, A, entrance and exit will be off South Dakota Highway 324. Truck entrance and exit will be off 324 only. No entrance or exit will be off Brookings County number 21, 473rd Avenue. B, no on-street parking, no parking of equipment or storage of fuel or mining oil in the mining area. Separate parking lot and storage area for fuel, oil, and equipment with containment to be 300 foot away from the mined or actively mined areas. C, dumpster service for garbage disposal. D, maintain outside perimeter berms as per site plan with a 4-to-1 slope. Top of the berm being 10 feet in width and trees planted on top of the berm working with the Brookings County Conservation District. Completion of berms on the southwest and west sides of the property as soon as construction allows in 2022. Signs, 32 square foot sign allowed and any required safety signs. F, spraying of all noxious and other weeds before they go to seed. Monitor weed growth and weed control by spraying, mowing, or tilling by permit holder or designated professional sprayer service. Weed control pursuant to South Dakota Codified Law 3822 and inspect 2 times a year for weed growth and weed control by the Brookings County Weed Supervisor. G, the comprehensive plan is met for the agricultural district. H, driveway permit needed for Brookings County Highway Department to extend the driveway on South Dakota Highway 21. So, Brookings County Highway 21. Any required notifications? Notify Brookings County 911 and Brookings County Emergency Management of any hazardous materials or chemical spills. J, any required safety inspections for state permits. Number 4, Brookings County Zoning Commission further determines and conditions this conditional use permit upon the following additional special conditions or safeguards. A, follow Brookings County Zoning Ordinance 4.06 Aquifer Protection Performance Standards in sections 4.0606, fuel storage with containment to be 300 foot away from mined or actively mined crushed areas. Septic system must be approved by the South Dakota South Agricultural and Natural Resources. For being located in the floodplain in the Zone B of the Aquifer Protection Area. D, dust control, magnesium chloride or like products in the driveway, entrance, exit, and loading areas. Dust control when processing, crushing, or screening gravel. Dusk to dawn light at the scale house. G, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. H, entrance gate padlocked, lake size no more than 50 acres. K, clean fill may be hauled in, no other types of fill for disposal. L, South Dakota Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Brushing permit required and on copy on file with the Brookings County Development Office. Reclamation Plan for 35-acre residential lots with original building, 5 residential lots total, in compliance with the county zoning regulations. Subdividing should be part of the reclamation processes. Approval of conditional use 2021 CU 025, which you just approved. Conditional use is valid for 5 years. Or when the mineral resource of gravel has been depleted. Brookings County Zoning Commission acts by majority vote of its full membership. Hereby grants the above petitioner a conditional use for the above described property as follows. Conditional use number 5A, rock crusher to process gravel mined on site. This conditional use permit is specifically conditioned upon initial and continued compliance with all the requirements and conditions in 3 and 4 above, upon compliance with all applicable provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. If approved, the Brookings County zoning director is authorized to issue any required building permits for construction consistent with the requirements of this conditional use. If this conditional use permit is not used within 3 years of the date granted, it shall be invalid, dated the 6th day of December, 2021.
Is there any additions to the findings of facts? Thank you, Mr. Bartley. Richard, would you call a vote?
Troyan,
Yes.
Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Dietrich,
Aye.
Storhog,
Aye.
Gatsky,
Aye.
Erickson,
Aye.
Bartley,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
and Ford.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Department reports? Yes.
Moving on to department reports.
What do you think, Bob?
Yes, we do. And Mike McHugh's term has expired this year, and he's decided not to run again. So,
Are we not good looking at it?
Northeast.
yep, I got a couple items here. I gave a presentation up at SDSU here on back right before Thanksgiving, current issues in animal science, on conditional uses for what application process for a conditional use in the joint area, and the other one was conditional use for a CAFO out in the county. Students have to go through, do their mock application, go through all the steps of that. She had one of her board members that she has come in and has sit on her board of adjustment up there, can't make it that day, so on Monday, December 13th, from 1:45 to 3:45, and then Tuesday, December 14th, from 9:15 to 11:15. If any of you experienced board members, I should say, would be willing to sit on her board of adjustment for those 2 hours, we can get a hold of her and she can tell you where to be on those days. But
I can work on it.
okay, if Chad wants to do one, is any other members want to sit on? You can split that up if you want, or if you don't have time to do it, that's fine too. So. And then Monday the 13th, from 1:45 to 3:45. Then Tuesday from the 14th, from 9:15 to 11:15. And then back in September, I'd visited with the board up on about item up on Lake Oakwood, some decks or flat work that had been completed and over a shoreline modification area. On that, the deck material, making of the decks was not included in the shoreline modification plan. And reached out to Game Fish and Parks, and they do stick out over the riprap wall just a little bit, 6-8 inches or so. But it's not enough to kick in a violation from the Game Fish and Parks side, as long as they do not extend out into the ordinary high water mark. So it would impede lake travel or motoring along the lake shore up and down the shoreline. With that being said, your opinion here, is this considered a structure that would require a variance? It's basically, or would it be considered like cement? You can pour the cement out there and not have a, require a variance or a building permit for that. This is the retaining wall that was built and they had approved for the shoreline modification. This they had built from the back where it was grass or dirt, and they just built a deck on it over that. This particular gentleman neighbor here, I'll show another picture, does have a landing right here coming down from the steps to the top, landing, and then down to this one. This is that, whoop. This is looking straight on, you know, he built onto here. Do you consider that part of the decking area to access that? Or do we need a variance for 8-foot side setback on there? They're both right up within a foot of one another. Neighbors get along great. There. This is the other one. Same thing, deck on here. When they redid and this particular party did have a deck down here prior to his shoreline modification. He did have a structure or building there that he replaced. I believe it's the same size, maybe just a little bit bigger than what was there. This is looking back the other direction there. We just need to determine if that would require a variance permit for that like 75-foot setback area, or how you would consider that. As of right now, Game Fish and Parks, you know, that they're not thinking it's in violation of anything, so as far as the state law goes, so.
So did we approve the wall?
The shoreline modification permit, the application, the applicant fills it out and sends it into the state.
So why didn't they just build it right to the edge of the wall?
And then they got approval from the state. We issued them a building permit for that, and that's what they did. But these decks were not included in that shoreline modification permit.
So both neighbors built decks?
Yes,
my
both these two
understanding?
neighbors. I'm not for certain if this neighbor here, if there was a deck down there before, I don't know that. I don't think there was from prior pictures, but on this property, there was a deck down there on that little boathouse or shed, water house, pump house, whatever you want to call it. He did have that existing prior to the doing the shoreline modification, so he just built it back.
Would you normally require a permit for a deck?
Yes.
And there was no permit issued for this deck?
No,
They
no,
just did it as part of the shoreline modification?
that is correct.
It's not shoreline modification. I think the resolution to this is to require them to come in and apply for a permit. And I think on the deck and this stairway, because, you know, just because the neighbor did it and they like each other doesn't make it right. And if the neighbor never had a permit for the other one, I got a problem with that too. But possibly he needs to permit the deck
Need to apply for a variance for the
and a
both decks.
variance for the stairway
Yep.
and the deck. I think he needs to apply for it. We want it on record, otherwise it'll be happening all over the place.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, if I might make a point, I guess I actually have a question before I do. Did they determine that is hanging out past the ordinary high water mark? Like the high water mark would be where that retaining wall is? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay, so
That's-
just
Slightly.
slightly. So two things. One, I would lean on the side that if this is at level, that he's just set it on ground level, that I'd treat that like a patio in counties I work on. So more or less, I wouldn't worry about that aspect. The part that concerns me more than anything is the fact that you have a projection over public property, the same as if this was projecting out over a road. Regardless of whether or not you can ride a boat up there, you can walk on that shoreline, albeit a bad idea. You can do that, and you're projecting over public property. So bottom line is that's not a deck. Here's my interpretation. Take it for what it's worth. That's not a deck until it overhangs onto the public property. Now it's a deck and it needs pillars to support it at the bottom. That's why it needs a variance. And frankly, I don't know that you can issue a variance to let them build over public property.
Was the shoreline private though?
All water's public.
Well, but the water's public, but is the shoreline public?
When you come
I
to
don't know.
when you come to the high water mark,
Yeah.
the high water mark,
Is the shore?
what you're seeing for stones will
Yep.
be under, and technically you could hit that with. I could drive out there with a boat if the water was high,
It
run my
would.
boat into it, and they're liable.
Sure. Okay.
I believe.
And I can read the response I got from the Game Fish and Parks official. Based on the current water level in relation to the established outlet elevation, the overhanging decks are likely extending out very near or slightly beyond the ordinary high water mark elevation. Since the decks do not impede on the public highway around the shoreline or interfere with public use, we are not considering a violation enforcement at this time. So,
Is that 2x4s or
What you're
two?
pulling into it, the Game Fish and Parks isn't gonna help you.
Is that 2x4s or 2x6s?
those I believe are 2x6s.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, the decking is the 5/4 decking, so it's 6-inch, 5.5-inch wide decking.
So that's hanging over 4 feet.
No, not. The picture is deceiving.
They're just talking about the high water mark,
Yeah.
which is farther down. High water mark is
Okay.
not the wall, it's down.
There it's over 2 feet.
1.5 to 2 feet would be the most on each end.
No, it's not.
So if we require them to come back in and get a variance, and for whatever reason we approve a variance, do we become liable for any safety issues on that?
Mr. Muller, do you have insight on that?
I am not an attorney. What I've been told in the past is probably not. Fact of the matter is that you have as much liability as the state of South Dakota does, who says that that's not a problem, that hangs over their property. Again, I go back to imagine if you had asked if it's okay if you overhang onto the highway right away. I bet you'd have gotten a different answer. And it's 6 of one, half does the other at this point. Between those two, it's the same thing. You'd have the authority to technically issue a variance up to 0 lot line on that. I'm just not sure. Well, we won't debate whether or not a variance should be granted at this point. But the bottom line is that I don't think that would be any different than someone projecting out over the highway. They're going to sue the state just as much as they're going to sue you.
So right now we're asking about the far deck in this picture, not the closest deck, or are we asking
No,
about
both
both?
of
See,
those.
all of the
The-
above.
Both
Gotcha.
of them.
And both built their step downs from the house, deck, whatever, and impeding on the 8-foot setback from the property line,
Well,
right?
the red house was there.
But there's steps that come out the.
These were existing. When they were
That-
built, I can't tell you. This
Yep.
is the new one.
Okay, so we're talking about those decks, but we also are talking about this
Right.
structure as
Yep.
well.
A structure with no fire barrier. At what? 2 foot, 1.5 foot?
It's open stairway, so there would not be. It's not an enclosed structure, and there's
doesn't
no
matter.
I guess I
combustible
would agree
materials
with
there to require a fire stop.
Commissioner Bartley that an application for a permit needs to be.
A variance application.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Correct, or remove it. Yep, at that time.
So I'm just, and maybe this is a question for when the application comes through, but the left picture was existing, the right picture is the new construction.
Right, in addition to, yep, I would say this is new, coming down off of there, down to this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was like prior to a shoreline modification, you know, he's got a step backyard now. And I'm not sure what it was like before that.
Yeah.
On this particular property. But this one here did have a deck down here and this storage building.
Go back to the previous picture.
Was the existing house, as we talk about it, did that step down occur when we had the setback requirements and it was done without a permit? Or was it done as a permit at the construction phase of the house?
I don't know.
Is
I
it,
mean, it's either it was before and then we can't do anything about it if it
Right.
was.
But
If it was permitted as part of the site plan of the house, we can't do anything about it if it wasn't a variance at that time.
and this,
So
Yep.
if it was permitted, then I'd be somewhat
yep.
agreeable to permit this one. That's fair is fair. But I think it should be permitted.
Are you looking for a motion or are we just talking about it?
Getting your opinion to see what direction we would like to proceed.
It doesn't take a motion for this, just
Well, my opinion is
consensus of either
You
proceed
just-
or.
And this
Get 'em in
particular
here.
house was built in 1994, and there was no other,
The
no other,
neighbor's house. Yeah,
what's that?
the neighbor's house.
Yes, this house right here.
There was no deck on the picture of the house.
Could you go back to the stairway picture?
Yep.
Are they completed with what they're doing there, do you
I have
believe?
not been up there since those
Well, if-
pictures were taken.
if
I would
you-
say they're close to.
If you look at the house, there's obviously a story difference, and they got that LVL coming across there. So they must be going to put another deck out of that walkout upstairs door
Yep.
with the deck rail on it,
There's a deck right here.
but go up right underneath the doors.
Yeah, there's a header there.
There's,
Yeah.
and this LVL here is gonna be, so there's going
Oh,
to be a
okay.
secondary deck
Deck
for
above that,
them
possibly.
patio doors
it still hasn't been permitted.
that still hasn't been permitted.
Correct.
So I think it would be worth an adventure up there to. You get a field trip.
I will send them letters and have them apply for variances in.
No, wrong district.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that I have. I will send them a letter and
No, I forget where I was at. Department reports. Is there any need for an executive session?
No, sir.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Diedrich, second by Gatsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.